So today we're talking about watching the stock market. I'll bet you some of you have money in the stock market, some of you wish you had money in the stock market, and I just want to share a little bit about watching that stock market and what's happening with the economy. So stay tuned, we're getting started right now. So welcome back, y'all. I'm Debbie Dobbins. I'm your host for this episode of your Wichita Falls, and I want to talk about watching the stock market. Now, I love to watch the financial reports because I see what's going on with the economy. And the fact is that it's crazy out there right now. Crazy, crazy, crazy. There's so many people that watch the stock market and live and die by it. Number one, because their 401ks are invested in it, and a number of other reasons. And unless you're a day trader, I wouldn't watch the stock market on a regular daily basis because it just fluctuates so much. So one of the things about watching the stock market is I'm going to recommend you start watching the value of your home for some good news, because the stock market may or may not, depending on what's going on with the Fed right now. So while watching the stock market recently may have started to feel a little challenging, checking the value of your home should come as a welcome relief in this crazy, crazy volatile time. Because homeowners should actually be cheering like you just won in the stock market. Your net worth got a boost over the past few years thanks to these silly, crazy rising home prices. And that increase in your wealth came in the form of home equity. So why are you not actually sitting out on your front porch and having a parade for yourself? Because it's fantastic. One of the things that's different, and I've shared about this a couple of videos, from the market of 2008 and that crash and the market that we have now, is that people have equity in their property. Real, true equity, not that false equity that we had in 2008. So really, what is equity? Let me start with that, because a lot of people are like, equity, I know what it is, but I don't really know how you calculate it. It's the current value of your home minus what you owe on the loan. And if you own your house cash, then it's just the value of your home. You know, the thing is that because of this last couple of years, which is absolutely phenomenal information and good news for homeowners. Now, it doesn't mean that homeowners going forward buying a house now, don't take this as don't buy a house now, because I'll talk about that in a second. But because you have more equity in your homes than most people ever get in that short amount of time, number one, and you have these incredible low interest rates that you are then socking away even more equity because you're cutting down your balance so quickly and so significantly. This imbalance, it's actually been a great imbalance between the equity acquisition and these low interest rates. You as a homeowner have had a double whammy. So if you're thinking about selling, you might want to watch the video that I've got coming up about selling your house now, because even though you have all this equity and you've sustained it with these low interest rates, still means that you're in a good position to sell your house. But, you know, the number of houses that have been available for sale and the number of buyers that were looking to make a purchase over the past few years basically helped create this appreciation that you have now in your property, this equity. It is absolutely phenomenal. And as I said, this is completely different than 2008, because back in 2008, people's equity was plummeting because we had a crash, because there was an oversupply of houses. We don't have that. We haven't had that in 2 years, and we still don't have that. There is not a glut in the market of properties. And even if there is, you'd still only see a reduction of less than 10%. Because the values of the houses are sustainable. But now, with rising inventory and mortgage rates, they've cooled the market off some. But I've said in several videos, and I'm going to say it in a couple of more, that we're reaching a flattening point. We're not going like this. We're going like this. And with these recent months, the home prices nationally are still remaining strong. And I've talked about this before too, that in Texas, we are completely different than all the other states in the union. Why? Because everybody wants to be here. So according to the latest homeowners equity insights from CoreLogic, the average, this is crazy, has grown by $60,000 over the last 12 months. Now that's a national number, and there's a CRIAM that I'm putting up where you can see by states. Texas is in the top percentile in the $50,000 range of increasing equity on an average. That is crazy, because at the end of the day, you know, even if the interest rates are high, if for some reason you had an emergency, you can go and get a home equity loan and take the money out of your property because that equity is there, or sell it and recover the money. You know, there's so many things about equity, and I've shared about home ownership being a wealth builder over and over and over, and that's absolutely true, because wealth building is what it's all about. And if you have been in the home owning market over this past year or two, you are absolutely in a great place. And as I said, Texas is leading the pack in this home equity cycle because everybody wants to be here. So you're not going to be losing. I'm telling you, I say this over and over and over. People were coming to Texas before the craziness and the pandemic and everything else that led up to that. And they continue to do that because they all want to be in Texas. It is a phenomenon. And if you dispute that in any way, then go look at the last census and how many congressional seats Texas gained and California lost. But why is this so important right now? You know, the NAR explains that the decline in the stock market has dented overall net wealth. You know, it's interesting because I said the stock market goes up and down and all over the place, but it has fallen, the stock market, by $6 trillion from the first to the second quarter. So the stock market is, to me, and there's plenty of people that will argue with me out there, but it is a monopoly game and or a casino, because housing wealth will hold on, has always held on, and with real estate wealth, you cannot lose. And if you see any statistics about the real estate market over the last 100 years, it just goes, you know, it might have a little this, then it goes here and it goes there. You know, 2008, we had this, but we came right back. So the equity that you get, the security you get, the equity in your net worth when you have real estate is the number one way to build abundance. It just is. So when you sell your current house, if you do that, the equity you build up comes back to you in the sale. And if you live there, there's no capital gains. I do flips all the time, and capital gains is there, but the fact of the matter is I still make more money than the taxes I have to pay. So if you are thinking of selling your home, think about all that equity that you've created in these past few years. I have sellers that were buyers 3 years ago that have created 40 to 50% equity in their property in that last period of time. They're walking away and having enough of their down payment, all of their closing costs, and upgrading to a new home in their dream state. Maybe it's not Texas, maybe it's a different area, or maybe it's Wichita Falls. But this thing to know is that the bottom line is there's volatility in today's stock market, but home equity is still absolutely stronger than ever, amazing for you as a homeowner. And it's something that you need to pay attention to for your own abundance, to know that real estate is the best investment on the planet. If you'd like to know more, free to schedule a Zoom call with me in the first comment link below, and I'll be happy to share anything and everything and answer all of your questions. And as I always say, y'all come back now, you hear? Bye-bye.